But probably didn't have many occasions to go back to Clremore then during this.
Well, I had a couple of occasions. I was
Okay.
called to,
Tell me about it.
I was approached by them to come, and coach basketball. John McKeever was principal.
Oh,
then.
yes.
I don't know if you know the name.
He was my principal, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, John McKeever was principal, and I don't know, it was about 1954 or 5, somewhere along there. Why, he called me just before school started.
Another one calling you.
Yeah, they called me. He called me, and he'd known me because we'd been over and played in a couple of their basketball, and he knew my folks there in town, and I brought teams over there to their basketball tournament and won it a couple of times, and he called me and said, "I'd like for you to come over and coach our boys basketball." I said, "John, I've got an awful good job here." And I said, Tuffy Klein told me one time, he said, "You think hard and long if anybody ever wants you to come back to Clremore to coach." He said, "You think it through before you say yes, because it's not going to be the same when you were a kid. They're going to be on you, and if you, any little thing that you even think might be wrong, they're going to be on your back." And he said, he kind of regretted it somewhat that he came back to Clremore High School.
Did he?
He did.
Well,
And I remember that, but I told John, I said, no, I said, "John, I don't even want to come over and talk to you about it." I said, "I'm happy here, and I've got good kids coming up, and the kids are awful good to me here, and the town's good to me, and I'm not coming back." So about 2 years later, he called me again, and he said, "Still, why don't you come over and coach our basketball?" I said, "No, John, I told you that I wasn't coming back to Clremore." I said, "The only way I'd come back to Clremore if I ever retired maybe and wanted to come back and be with my folks." Well, in the meantime, of course, they had died and everything, and so I didn't have a lot of ties really to come back to Clremore. And we'd spent 30 years there in Sapulpa, and the town was awful good to me. And I got involved in some of the work there, the charity work and volunteer work in town there. And in fact, I started our school foundation. About 2 years after I retired, I started our school foundation and was first president of it. And we put on a golf tournament out at the Oaks every year for the foundation, raised about $30,000 every year. And I thought, I don't want to leave something like that.
No.
And all the people knew that I was running it, and they'd played. A lot of them played. A lot of the kids I had in school played because of me, and it just was. And I was pretty active in our church at that time, and I just thought, well, no, I don't want to leave. And my wife,